No! No! No!
Horror Pop Extravaganza.
What up, all you beautifully amazing, just wonderful human ghosts out there? Human ghosts, ghosts, everybody who's listening, it doesn't matter. You are welcome here if you're a ghost or a human ghost, because this is the Horror Pop Extravaganza, where the macabre meets the mindful. What up? I am Pops Ghostly, and with me, as always, is
Little Duke Spooky.
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 I love it. I almost want a little animation for that, and your head's just like, you know, nothing moving but the head on your little cartoon guy. What is up, everybody? If this is your first time, welcome. We've actually been seeing a lot of cool growth on the show across pretty much everything. So if this is your first time, this is where the macabre meets the mindful. We take a horror idea, usually a movie, and we couple that with some well-being type shit. And this week is one that you've been harping on me for, I mean, a month, you think? Maybe
At
month
least, dude. Like, you did not want to go along with this one.
It's not that I didn't want to go along with this movie. It's that my brain, once I lay some shit out, I like mentally prepare for some shit. But I did say, okay, let's do it. I was like, you know what? Let's break the order. Let's go ahead and throw this thing in there. And I do apologize if the echo is kind of crazy. There's almost nothing left in this room. It's virtually empty. So some sound might be bouncing, but hopefully it'll only be, you know, another few episodes, another month or so, and I'll be able to put the studio back together. But yes, you brought this to the table. You're like, I just watched a crazy fucking movie. Well, I fucking talk about
it. When you said last week, you were like, next week, Death of a... I got so excited. I was like, oh, what? It's finally happening? Me? I get to pick one?
For me?
Little Duke Spooky.
Little Duke Spooky.
It's all grown stuff.
Death of a Unicorn, which is I watched it on HBO Max, so it is available. Or is it just HBO again?
Now it's just HBO. They dropped the Max.
I'm kind of okay with it. I'm kind of
all right with
that. We talked about them coming full circle.
Yeah, Cinemax was always subpar to HBO. Come on.
Because you had those were the big two. Showtime would come a little bit later, but I feel like Cinemax and HBO were the first, and Cinemax was more just Skinemax. Like,
that's the only reason we liked it, dude, for that after 10 p.m. content.
We're gonna show you like Hotel So and So After Dark with some porn.
Red Shoe Diaries with little David Duchovny getting all horny.
So horny, babe.
Oh. Turn it on. I could watch crotches grinding, but not any penetration. I loved it.
I don't need to see anything penetrate anything.
Oh, dude, just boobies, just some boobies, just sitting there, not doing anything, dude. Nobody's licking them or kissing them, just boobies,
just boobs out.
Yeah,
all you needed it for. That's when cable was so young. That's all you needed. And now there's
that's still all I need, dude. I still like I go to Pornhub and I look up old Skinemax. Just watch some softcore love, dude. That fits me right for a Saturday night.
So sensual. The movie, though, we are going to talk about.
Oh yeah,
on HBO. So if you would like to watch it there, and I think you can rent it on Amazon, Apple TV, all of your primary, you know, anywhere you can rent a fucking movie nowadays. We're talking about Death of a Unicorn from 2025. It's something that was on my radar, but never really, you know, popped off. Real quick sidebar, though, I did get to go see Weapons. And I just want to give a shout out to my friend Tony. I know Tony listens to the show. He was like, bro, you got to go see this movie. So I made it a point. You know, I don't go to the movies anywhere what I used to. I'm hoping to get back into the habit, but what a fucking ride, dude.
That was the one I meant to talk about last week, but I fucked it up and called it the wrong movie. I called it Parasite, and you were like, yeah, it was whatever. But what I was trying to talk about was Weapons. And if you saw that, so you saw it and you fucking dug it, I gotta go see it, man.
You do, because there's, I don't want to say shit, you know, but there is.
I haven't seen a trailer or nothing.
Love, what's her name, dude? Julie Garner. Does that sound right?
Yeah. From the Fantastic Four.
And yeah, with the fucking curly hair and shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's great. And then Jeff Brolin's always good. You know,
always, dude.
never met at Brolin. And there, yeah, go check it out when you can. So anyway, this one kind of blipped on my radar, kind of went away. It was always sitting there. I'm like, I don't fucking know. And I have been very vocal about my relationship with A24 as a whole. You know, it's so maybe there's some of that in there subconsciously. My brain's like, do you want to be maybe really happy or maybe really disappointed in a movie?
It didn't get good reviews either, so I understand.
Yeah, and it's kind of right down the middle, you know. Some people really fucking dig it. Other people are like, I don't know so much. I will say that yesterday, was it yesterday? Yes, yesterday. I had a friend of mine in my tattoo booth, and we were tattooing on her most of the day. She had never seen Evil Dead or anything. We watched the entire trilogy on VHS. She got introduced to Ash Williams, dude. And yeah, we went Evil Dead through Army of Darkness, and that was fucking rad. Anyway, this we're gonna talk about it. We'll get through it. There's some shit that I'm not even 100% sure I fully understand, but why don't you do the IMDb thing? Give us, who's in it, because there are the performances. There's some great talent in this thing across the board. So make sure you highlight those people who really, I think, bring this thing alive.
Yeah, man. So this was, as we've talked about before, whenever anything's weird, dude, writer and director is the same guy.
Yeah.
Alex Sharfman is the writer and director on this thing. And it stars a little unknown named Paul Rudd.
Halloween 6 is Paul Rudd. Thank you very
Halloween
much.
6 is
Curse of
Paul
Michael
Rudd.
Myers, my favorite Paul Rudd.
He has got to be the best fucking straight man in the business. And in this, he's playing straight man and he's so fucking good, dude. He doesn't even have to talk and he makes me fucking laugh.
Paul Rudd is an amazing, his chops were cut on comedy. Like the dude is funny as shit. And he understands, sometimes it almost might work against him because he's so funny. It was the first time we saw a 1 hour photo or some shit like that where you see Robin Williams trying to be serious and you're like, oh, that's fucking hilarious. And it's like, oh no, it's really not. But yeah, Paul Rudd is a gem. Same with Jenna Ortega, just a fucking gem of a talent, dude.
Just so good, dude. Like I just remember like seeing her, like I recognized her in X, where I was like,
That's
dude,
where,
she's
yeah,
like one of the Disney kids or something. And then I look back, she was either Nickelodeon or Disney. She was on like one of those old shows. But then Wednesday, of course, like made her blow up, and now she's in everything.
but everything she's done, like you said, and from X, I remember seeing her in that. And then Wednesday, you're right though. Wednesday just fucking took off like crazy. And I still haven't watched the second season yet. But whatever she shows up in, whether it be funny, drama, horror, anything, she does it, man. She crushes it and just does cool shit. And it's hard to be mad watching, Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega act.
Yeah, dude. And what's crazy about her, she can play like a kid, like in Wednesday, and then she's playing like a full-on adult. Like
Right.
she's in that one with the dude from The Office, and she's just like boning him and stuff. And I'm like,
And
what?
that's gotta be weird, to
Weird.
be cast in that like in different, yeah, psychologically, I imagine that's gotta be like, oh, okay, I have to go to this weird spot now where
Right.
yeah, who knows?
This next guy, I think he's the most underrated actor in Hollywood right now. Will Poulter.
Dude, Will Poulter is just anytime he shows up on the screen, I'm fucking down. And
Dude,
in
we're
this one, he plays a good, like cocky scumbag kind of a character a lot. But in this, he pulls off the trying to live up to the standards of rich mommy and daddy, while still being kind of a goofball who doesn't really stick with anything and shit. But yeah, he's great. Great.
yeah, dude. In We're the Millers, he's so funny, dude. He plays like the total nerd, and
Yeah.
then he's like a total badass in like Guardians 3. You're like, what is going on? Amazing.
Good,
Love
dude.
that.
Yeah.
Uh, I've been in love with this lady since for so long, dude. I've had a crush on her since Bad Boys, I think. Yeah,
When
black
she
hair.
popped up on the screen, I had like core memories just unlocked. I was like, oh, such a part of my youth, dude. Like in my cinematic youth, she was always around. Yeah, please continue.
Tia Leone, dude.
Yeah.
So fucking good.
And in this, she's fucking funny a couple times.
Amazing, dude. Yeah, she always plays like a hard ass or whatever. And in
Right.
this, she was so fucking funny. We got, let's see. Oh, Anthony Carrigan. This dude, He's that creepy looking albino bald guy.
Yeah, dude, he slays in this thing.
Dude, he's
He
so
was,
good in everything.
but in this, he was like the comic relief in the best way possible. You know, he's like,
For
no,
sure.
this ain't fucking, I ain't the gay guy and shit. Yeah, it was, yeah, really, really good. He does kind of look like powder though.
He totally looks like powder. Yeah, dude. And then Richard E. Grant, just the most evil looking motherfucker, but
He,
always like does like a really good, like funny aristocrat type character.
he was the dad, right?
He's the dad, yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
And then let's see.
I can't.
Sunetti Manny played Dr. Batia, and she was so good in it.
Yeah, she's trying to grieve her friend who's fucking dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, we gotta get back on our game here. We gotta do this. And she's like, but I don't know. I thought we'd warn him from it.
Oh shit. All right. You want to ready to hear what IMDb has to say about this?
I'm very interested because this is a movie where it's like, what the fuck is it about? But go ahead.
All right. A father and a daughter accidentally hit and kill a unicorn while en route to a weekend retreat, where his billionaire boss seeks to exploit the creature's miraculous curative properties.
Pretty fair. I would say sprinkle in some heavy existentialism along.
That doesn't make me want to see the movie.
Right.
Because this movie, we're gonna try, but it's gonna be hard to explain this movie.
Yeah, because there's a lot going on. So why don't we just dive right into it?
Let's get
into it. Let's go. Yes. We open up on Jenna Ortega and Paul Rudd, father-daughter relationship, grieving the loss of his wife, her mother, going to see this billionaire dude because he's an attorney and he's going to be his proxy of some sort moving forward. And Paul Rudd is telling her, you know, this is it. We only got to ride this thing for 6-7 years, maybe 10 at the most. And then we can, we'll be good. Everything will be okay. And they're driving along. He gets a call from the dude, and they're like, you're fucking late. And he's like, ah, shit. He starts stepping on the gas. We got to get to some servers. Unicorn. And it jumps right at you. You know, you see it out there with the thing on. A couple of, I liked this movie a lot, but I did have some issues with it. And some of it was just tonally, I felt like it was going all over the place.
It is all over the place.
It is all over. And because this one, they get out to check on the unicorn. Oh no, it's a horse with a fucking growth on its head. Nobody's calling it a unicorn yet. So it's a horse with a growth on its head. She gets some of the unicorn blood, or she touches the horn, maybe, Jenna Ortega, but then gets some of the unicorn blood on her face. She has real bad acne, and she gets some of the unicorn blood on her face.
The acne was so good, by the way, that I actually was like, does Jenna Ortega have acne? Is this just low budget and they didn't cover it up? Like,
No,
I legit believed it. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked good. And she, I don't know, gets some of the blood in her mouth or something and goes on this portal fucking journey, a DMT tunnel where you're just like going through colors and lights and all this different shit. And she's seeing and experiencing all this stuff, and he shakes her like, what's wrong with you? And he's beating the unicorn in the head with a tire. Blood's flying everywhere. He gets some on his face. We really got to go. We can't leave this thing here. It's important that we keep moving. So they take off and get to the estate. We're now inside. And we see this old man who, wants nothing more than to find a cure for all of his ailments. A story we've seen many times. Paul Rudd is trying to get Jenna Ortega to play along with everything that's going on. And he's like, yo, I need you to show up and like really be here with me and impress these people. We got to do this thing. And she's like, I need to go to the bathroom. Like, I'm fucking tripping out, dude. There's a unicorn in the back of the car because, they had to bring it with them. So this goes on for a while. We meet all of our cast of characters that you had already mentioned. Super fun group of cats throughout the whole movie. They are arguing a little bit about him being in or not in, something like this. And then you hear the bang, bang, bang from outside, and they all go, they're like, is there something in your car? And he's like, no, there's nothing out in my car. And the whole thing's just fucking shaking all over the place. There isn't anything out there. Let's all go outside and look at it. See, there's absolutely head comes through the window, glass explodes, and this unicorn's like hoofing, trying to hoof its way out of the thing. And then Sarah Connor's sister, maybe Mara Connor, comes up and just right in the side of the head. You're like, oh shit. And that's when old man, dying bones comes wheeling out. And we had seen her acne clear up, and we had saw Paul Rudd. His glasses made it so he couldn't see, but he had got some of the blood in his eyes. So we're led to believe very quickly that this unicorn blood essence, whatever, has big powers to cure almost anything. And so they take the unicorn inside. They're not going to call the authorities. They're not going to call the military because they're going to keep it for themselves. They get some doctors, scientists, all these people start shaving down the unicorn horn and putting it into his IV. We just see a montage of, chemicals and beakers and shit like that. But he gets this, and then pretty soon he's fully regenerated. And he's like, oh, we're going to get so rich. And I think there is something to be said here about the nature of the pharmaceutical industry and shit like that. Even the idea of a unicorn, yeah, like is very, but we're not going to go into all that. Instead, we'll focus on everybody now hyper excited about selling off the unicorn shavings. And this thing's now been dead. Jenna Ortega's having these visions and shit, and she's got tapestries like, hey, maybe this is all right, the actual unicorn lore that I have all rolled up in my backpack. They get I'm trying to think who gets, because dad is like, we got to go get this unicorn. We have to find it, because there's another one. I don't remember where they see the other one, but somehow they learn that there is another unicorn after they plan to shave off everything from the baby unicorn that they have. At some point, our son starts doing rails of unicorn dust, which I gotta admit was pretty funny. But he's having the same experience. It's almost their eyes go galaxy.
Yeah.
They're seeing beyond the veil. And she even tells him that at one point, her dad, she's like, I think they showed me where we're returning to. I guess all matter can't be destroyed, can't be created, all that kind of thinking. But it's showing us where we need to head to. But that's still a little bit down the road. First, the other unicorn shows up, and we do get a lot of unicorn killing in this thing. These unicorns are bad motherfuckers.
Yeah, they are.
Especially the head one with that saw blade serrated.
Yeah, dude. He's got like a raptor claw on the back of his hoof.
Dude, he's badass.
Yeah.
Oh, he steps on that guy's head, and she sees it from underneath the car. You just see his eye, and then he wipes his foot off on the grass.
Yeah.
I don't want your gross brains on me.
This one, it had some great like kill effects in this thing, man. Like violent, bloody, gnarly shit. It becomes like a creature feature.
In a lot of ways, 100%. Which I did just watch a new shark one I meant to text you about. Dangerous Animals. It was all right. I've been seeing a lot of like shark attack movies where we're searching for treasure, but some pirates or somebody make us go down again, even though I think I've seen like 3 or 4 of them recently. But yes, this is a creature feature in so many ways, but at the same time, it almost feels like a sci-fi movie in some ways. Because I think just the techno pseudo pharmaceutical science aspect of it, they're grinding all this shit up and they have the fountain of youth. And these people are eating it raw, or not raw, but just hard, real pretty close to raw. Just purple meat. They're eating it. They're drinking it in cocktails. He's like, I made a fucking unicorn cocktail. And Jenna Ortega's like, no, you don't know how the story ends. This is bad. Like, we got to not do this or they're going to fuck us up. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't recall, though, how we are introduced to was it through the tent? The doctor dies. I do know that. They're going to move the baby unicorn to headquarters, and the big unicorn, we just see a shadow going down the side of this quarantine fucking dome looking like some ET shit. And the unicorn stabs dude right through the little fabric mesh covering. And now we got the big bad killer freaking unicorn on our hands. I think we only have a total of three. So the one that they hit was the baby, and then you've got mom and dad who are now coming. There's a aurora borealis or some shit going on in the sky that's crazy, lighting up everywhere. Maybe there's horses running in it, or it's the time stream. I don't know exactly what it is, but they are trapped in the house and they think, okay, we just have to give the baby back because dad goes out into the woods, but he doesn't make it back.
Right.
He goes to touch it. He's like, oh, it's magical. We'll share our secrets. Me and you. Sweet unicorn. Straight through the jaw at the top of the head. They're shooting at it. It's fucking bucking around, killing people. But it had lured them out there. It was sitting out there like a trap, just with its horn glowing, like, don't worry about me. And then it stands up like dun 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 dun, just badass. Kills dad. Paul Rudd makes it back. We're in the house. I can't remember his name, the son, but he watches his mom die and doesn't fucking help her get to her next evolution quick. She lights the oxygen tank that was her husband, right? Yeah, her husband's. And she's like, fucking shoot me. And this unicorn had already stabbed her, grabbed her by the leg, was flinging her all over the fucking room. Come on, blow me up. And he's looking at her with his bow and arrow that he's not holding anywhere near right, which makes sense. He explains a few times that pretty much he's just a scrub who can't do anything. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
That's
just
what I love about this character is that he's like so he seems so capable, but he's just a complete idiot. And I
yeah.
love the scene in the hot tub where he keeps trying to get Paul Rudd to get in the hot tub with him, and he's like, "No, I'm good, man." And he's like, "Come on, get in for a soak."
I know he's like, how about some chit chat? And he's like, how about a little hot tub time? They start hearing the screams out in the forest where
Yeah.
the unicorns are now preaching, we know you killed our kid, we're coming for you, and all this other shit. But yeah, his mom is on the pool table and he's up on top of this balcony type area, the flaming rainbow looking arrow pointing right down. And she's like, do it, son. Kill me. And he just lets the draw fall back down. And the unicorn we see eat all her guts out. And we realize it's because he doesn't want to lose the unicorn. He needs that horn. He's been fucking smoking it like crack.
Yeah, dude.
He's been
Full out addicted to unicorn horn, dude.
which I mean, if there's one thing to get addicted to, it's probably unicorn horn, because that
Yeah,
does
that or a leprechaun pecker, one of the two.
Miko. Oh, leprechaun. Oh, I'd love to meet a leprechaun. So, so he lets his mom die. We have Jenna Ortega, Paul Rudd are trying to find a way out. Oh, our homeboy had ran to the gate and he's opening that up manually. We forgot about that. And then the doctor, the female doctor, she just gets quartered. They just rip her apart. And these are fucking unicorns. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
And you got these big, huge, snarly mouths, like full of nasty teeth and shit like that. But
The
they
scene where they do the Alien 3 thing with Jenna Ortega, like it comes right down into her face, and she's like, and then like blows her hair back with his
right. 100%. I know just what you're talking about because she's looking at it almost face to face. And
But she doesn't get eat because she didn't partake. She got a little blood on her by accident, but she didn't like eat it or smoke it or.
well, and there was also she had brought something up in her findings about the fair maiden, or he was looking at it when he was all fucking high on unicorn meth. There's the tale of the fair maiden, and she's the only one because he wants to corral them, get these two, and then breed them, and then just have a stable of unicorn powers. Kind of like a vampire's blood bank, but you're a unicorn. I don't fucking know. But these three left, and I do remember the jump from night to day kind of fucking confused me. Like it was like dark nighttime, and then all of a sudden it was morning time. Jenna Ortega falls out the window, like, ah! Just lands on the thing. Paul Rudd comes creeping out, but the baby, the mom and the dad unicorn had freed the baby from the straps, from everything that was going on, and kind of like chewed through them, got the baby on the ground, and then both just fell down. They're laying there by their little kid, and Paul Rudd, Jenna Ortega are watching. Fucking Will's coming out, and he ties up the unicorn, and he's like, "Oh, Paul Rudd, we're gonna be fucking partners, like me and you, dude. Don't worry about it." And Paul Rudd had snatched the unicorn horn. They had it in this special James Bondy looking Jurassic Park type tube, and he snatched it out of there. He had it, and he goes up and stabs this dude with the thing. Like, you're just, and you watch these characters throughout the whole time. And I think there is a message here too, somewhere about the rationalization of wealth.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Like you're going through this like because you're wealthy. Like you deserve this because you're wealthy. You know, you deserve to have this like unicorn magic.
Right. And even Jenna Ortega, when she's talking to her dad, and he's trying to justify it most of the time. And he's like, "Wow, what if this could have helped mom?" And she's like, "They wouldn't have given it to her."
Right.
Like, even if it could help, you know what I mean? Like, and I thought that was a really profound kind of moment. I'm like, oh, as someone who worked in the pharmaceutical industry for, almost a decade, I've seen some crazy shit. But he stabs him, boom, and then he gets stabbed. Paul Rudd gets shanked with a fucking arrow that was, as he's holding his bow all funny, walking around, keeping people at bay. His dad's dead. His mom's dead. He watched his mom die. He really is a terrible,
A piece of shit. Yeah, he's like the worst, dude.
somebody. What if he's just, and he almost kind of looks like him. What if he was grown up evil Ed from fucking Fright Night? I feel like that's the kind of kid he would be. Brewster, you fucking Brewster, you got food all over you, you piece of shit. So good, dude. He killed that role. But now he's dying and has a nice moment with Jenna Ortega where they kind of come to, terms with each other. And he's like, "Tell me what you saw, when you got the unicorn shit all over you." And she's like, "It was this fucking tunnel." And that's where she describes it and gives us some exposition. It looked like the beginning, like it's where we're supposed to be going, this, what we've been aiming towards the whole time. And we see it as this cloudy, nebulous, just lights and colors, the quantum realm. If you've ever seen the Ant-Man movie, it kind of looks like all that shit. And he's like, "Oh, badass. I'm gonna go find your mom and I'll be waiting for you on the other side." And it's a really good moment. They do a cool thing with it. And he dies. And he dies. And she's like, "Oh, fucking now I have nobody in this world. Even these rich people are all dead. There's nobody here for me." The unicorns then proceed to take her father and their baby and put them on top of each other and then start like spooning and sword fighting with their. It's almost like if you were playing swords with a couple of
Touching tips. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's creating a storm cloud straight out of Ghostbusters between them. There's electricity starts to rise and hit these two. And the whole thing has been, they have these regenerative powers and things like that. So this thing happens, bang, bang. We see the kid start to heal on the side and on the face, and then the unicorn, the horn starts to, and it's going to snap back together and heal itself. And then we see Paul Rudd's like fucking masters of the universe, like reaches out and touches the horns, and it's like, "I have the power." And he is back alive. And then I think the unicorns all just, first a big explosion happens and everybody fucking goes flying backwards. And we're all on the ground. Then the unicorns hop up and all take off into the mountains. I believe we're somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. It looked like it, sounded like it.
Yeah.
They take off, boom, into the mountains. And then Jenna Ortega and Paul Rudd get up and they're like, what the fuck? This is nuts. I'm alive. And shortly thereafter, the cops show up because our Powder character, he's still alive. He never got killed. And there might have been one other, no, I think it was just maybe the three of them because he was driving in the car alone at the end, following the police car with Jenna Ortega and Paul Rudd in it. This policewoman shows up. She's like, "What the fuck? You better have a good lawyer and shit. The story you're trying
Yeah,
to
because now it looks like they just murdered all these rich people.
right." I think you would, I don't know. You would have to first. You would never find the murder weapon for what's his face because it was the unicorn horn. But you would also be like, "What the fuck is this?" You know what I mean? Like this is crazy. The unicorns were in the house knocking shit over. I don't know if Jenna Ortega and Paul Rudd could have done all that damage in 2 lifetimes if they wanted to. When they kicked what's his face right in the fucking mouth, dude, that he tries to go back to get the unicorn, he gets straight in the head. I was like, damn, that was a kick. But the policewoman driving around, da, 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 and they start to feel there's something in here. And they look behind them. We've got our trio of unicorns running down the highway next to Powder's car first, and he just hilariously rolls the window up. I'm not going to do any of this today. And then we get up next to the police car. And this is maybe you can shed some light on this for me because this kind of confused me a little bit. I mean, I saw the tapestry of them getting blasted into the water, but I wasn't fully sure of why the unicorns, and they seem to know why though. Like Paul Rudd puts his arms around Jenna Ortega and they both, with the handcuffs on and they both put their heads down. And then after a long fucking stare between the unicorn and Paul Rudd, there was something that was said right there. And then out of nowhere, the unicorn just blasts the fucking car into, and maybe it's so they can never tell anyone about the unicorns and they understood it like we get it. If you want to be free, no one can hear our story.
Right.
You think so?
I definitely felt like they saved them because they knew that they would tell the police about unicorns and shit. But I also feel like there was like you said, it was
Well, they had already seen, like Jenna Ortega had already seen behind what's next.
right. Yeah. And I felt like
Nobody
because of what Paul Rudd went through, because he was like revived, he also had this like connection with the
he
unicorns.
did.
So it
He,
was like this
he went
mental
through it.
connection.
Yeah, he went through it. That's right. He went through it for a little bit.
Yeah. So I felt like at the end, he knew what they were going to do. And that's why he wraps her up so
Right.
that he will be on top of her and they'll be safe because he knows the unicorn's going to smash the car.
Right. But not be safe. I think the intention was for them to die. So the knowledge couldn't be shared, but they both had an awareness of this better plane that they were going to anyway. So there was a solace in that going together. They were going to
Yeah,
see
like
their
they're gonna go
mom.
home to be with their mom or whatever.
Right. But who knows? It was a crazy
Or they
fucking
got
ending.
murdered by unicorns, dude.
Right. I mean, these unicorns are murdery.
They
Maybe
are
that's,
murdery.
yeah, maybe that's what he told him. He's like, you fucked up.
Yeah, dude.
Sorry.
This movie does for unicorns what Leprechaun did for leprechauns.
Kind of right.
Because it felt like it should have been like a story like Harry and the Hendersons, but it goes way off the rails.
Right, right.
Look at
Yeah,
Harry
we,
just like
we did
murder.
have the murdery unicorn in Cabin in the Woods. We did
Yeah,
we did
yes.
have, so this isn't the first murder unicorn. It's also, we had unicorns and shit like Legend and fucking The Last Unicorn, that animated, that's a dope movie. But these unicorns are fucking magical murder machines.
That's what the sequel should be called.
Doesn't be unicorn too. Magical murder machine. I'd watch it. So what do you guys add? Is there anything that we didn't kind of go over already, or any thoughts you have before we get into
I
the
think that
gritty
anybody
gritty of
listening to
this?
this who hasn't seen it is going to be like, that sounds like a fucking trippy, crazy movie.
Yes.
That's what it is. It's a trippy, crazy movie, and it mixes a bunch of different genres together to make this ball of crazy. And I can understand why some people thought it was like, this is bullshit. I'm just craving fucking like new material and original stuff. So for me, this was just so much fun and it was so unexpected that
Yeah.
I just fucking loved it. And it just lit up a place in my heart, that little evil dark place that Duke Spooky fucking likes to visit now and again. That place was lit up bright and purple. And it was like, you know what? I want to fucking smoke some unicorn horn.
Dude, he was railing that shit. He's like, his eyes go all galaxy. Ah! Yeah, it was good shit.
Yeah.
I'm not quite as enthusiastic about it as you are. However, I was very entertained, and it was something, I really hope to catch the new Toxic Avenger in the theater just to show my support that way, support financially. That's how you make a difference in the world. It's about
Right.
money. But this, like I said, tonally, and at times I was like, what fucking movie are we? You know?
Right.
And that you're talking to a guy who loves rubber. I think rubber is fucking
Yeah.
brilliant. So I'm not, but I do feel had you not had Jenna Ortega and Paul Rudd in these lead roles, I don't know how far this would have gotten.
Right.
It
Yeah.
was, yeah, because they really had to carry a lot of a throughout
Yeah.
the whole thing. But I like the idea of murder unicorns. I like a creature feature.
I like anything that's supposed to be sweet and turns out to be evil.
Chucky, dude, all day.
Little Chucks.
Little chuckles, little don't fuck with the chuck. I recently watched one, two, and three, and I fucking love when I think it's in three, or no, the second one where he gives the guy, second or the third one where he gives the guy the heart attack, and he's like, ah, what the fuck? Like he was just too scary. He's like, oh. So out of five mythical murder machines, how many do you give Death of a Unicorn from 2025?
4 mythical murder machines is what I'm going to give this movie because I loved it. I can understand why people didn't, but I did. And I think that other people, that if you hate Greasy Strangler and you think rubber's bullshit, you might like this one.
All the Greasy Strangler fans out there are like, boo, hootie tootie, disco cutie, more grease, more grease. So out of five mythical murder machines, I am going with a 3.5 because there was a ton that I liked. And I think it's something that you can just toss on and, kind of just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Went on here? You could leave it on in the background with no sound on and you just be like, is that fucking unicorn? Is that killing people and shit? I think the effects were fun. The CGI went a little far for me. My
It's
heart
an
just
A24, so the budget wasn't there.
right. But at the same time, if the budget's not there, especially if you're trying to get me to believe some really crazy shit, at a few times it almost bordered on like sci-fi level CGI,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Sharknado level CGI, just polished a little bit more.
yeah.
Trying to get that, but man, if that don't fucking kind of pull me out a little bit, it just
If it
does.
would have been practical, would you have given it more?
Probably. Oh, probably. If they had a horse out there with a fucking horn on its head, and we just got these close-ups of like fire red eyes, like pulling guts out.
Yeah.
We had to see it, throwing this lady all over and doing all these things. And that's another thing I was going to bring up is that I believe because of the use of CGI, and I could be completely wrong here, but a lot of the third act felt really dark.
Mm.
Almost,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Just overall dark, like
Mhm.
the woods, no moonlight and stuff like that. Maybe a little bit just to show the silhouette of the unicorn and not necessarily the whole thing. And so that kind of got me a little bit too. I could see it going either way. Somebody's either probably gonna like it or be like, fuck this shit. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But overall, I am glad that I watched it. I'm glad that you brought it to the show and we were able to do Death of a Unicorn finally. And what do we have? What's next week? What do we have coming?
Silent Hill.
Silent Hill. All right. Going back to a video game adaptation, which I think is
Yeah.
actually, I feel is one of the better ones that they've done as far as survival horror,
Yeah.
because there's some gnarly shit in Silent Hill. And I want to say there's a new game coming out soon.
There's a new movie coming out soon.
Sick.
Return to Silent Hill.
Oh, I want to go back.
Me too, dude. Get me into that foggy shit.
Right. I'll take some Silent Hill,
Man,
dude.
that game fucking scared me when I was playing it, man. Fucking, it made Resident Evil look like a pussy.
I don't know. Resident Evil, dude, when you would get to the cabin at that certain part and you would just hear the spiders,
Yeah, yeah.
and then they would, and hit hard. And you're like, shotgun.
Yeah,
No.
but in this, dude, you just hear the things. The radio would come on
Right.
in the smoke. You'd hear dogs running around. You could hear their nails clipping on the ground. You're like, there's something running around out there, and it ain't good, man.
But then you got Pyramid Head, who's just in the fucking gnarly nurses who are just frozen in rigor mortis. And then
Their titties are all hanging out, dude. They just made me horny. I just want to go pop lock with some nurses. Be like, "What's up, ladies?" Pop, pop, pop,
I can do that twitchy shit too. Oh,
pop.
oh.
Pull my pants up real tight in the front so my balls hang out both sides, and be like, "Look at me, ladies. I'm scary too." Woo!
All the nurses run away, and you just sit there sad, contemplating suicide.
They didn't even want to kill me.
Not even the monsters want to kill me. The sad tale of little Duke Spooky. Okay, cool. Silent Hill. That'll be a ton of fun. I don't know where that. I feel like you might be able to find that one on like Tubi or something. I feel it popping up. I mean, I've owned it for a long time since it
Yeah, me
first
too.
released.
So I hadn't looked yet, but
Right. So that's cool. Okay, so next week, Silent Hill. A lot of fun. Let's pause for the living.
let us.
Let's pause for the living. And this has everything to do with you. This pause for the living is a question.
Oh,
A question. When I started podcasting, it was years and years and years ago. Me and my good buddy Phil did a little show called Those Movie Guys Podcast.
R.I.P. Those movie guys podcast.
RIP. There's some good shit out there, dude. And I've still got some of it. I'm like, fuck, that's funny. However, I was during a lot of those movie guys podcast, I was fucking struggling with drinking, with relationships, with a lot of things, but we still every single Tuesday put an episode out of Those Movie Guys podcast. You bring this to me and you say, "Hey, I'll do a podcast," and I'm like, "Fuck." Sounds like so much work. That sounds like too much work. But you presented it and you're like, "Hey, man, no, I'll fucking edit the shit. I'll do this. I'll do that." I'm like, "Cool, dude. Awesome. I'm down." And I said, my one stipulation is I want a segment of the show to be about well-being, kindness, mindfulness, all those things. And you're like, "Oh, bet. Absolutely." As of late, this thing has really started to grow in some cool ways. But it was your brainchild. It was your brainchild that said, "Hey, I want to do this movie show and shit like that." So, the question, what I am here to ask for,
I don't know where this is gonna go.
I am here to ask for your blessing to take over the helm of the Horror Pop Extravaganza and really start building into something. You're not going anywhere. You're
It's
staying.
yours. You have it. I don't want it.
It's kind of where I thought you would say what you would say as well, but I shouldn't presume. But yeah, man, I think I've been racking over some ideas, and I'm just gonna throw some out there right now that are already kind of in the works. But it was your baby at first, and I'm like, I can't take it and fully love it until he's like, "Here you go," you know.
You can adopt this baby. Because for me, I was a head showrunner of my own podcast, the Popcorn Promises podcast, but I couldn't get my co-hosts to fucking show up. And I knew that you were committed, but your podcast was coming to an end because it was just too much. And so
Yeah,
I was like, maybe me and Joe or me and Pops, we could fucking meet halfway in the middle and fucking neither of us would have to take the whole burden of each other. But as the show progressed and became its thing,
right.
Pops, you kind of just like you took the realm and like I gotta get in there with my boxing gloves to fucking get a word in. I'm like, I'm still here. Let me talk real quick. Hey, let me just tell you this one thing. Hold up.
And that is hard. I do talk a lot. But looking, and I was even reflecting on it driving back up here today, is that I feel that those movie guys gave me two things. it gave me some experience, but I was not in the right headspace. I was not in the right anything to really try and, I mean, the podcast was successful. It wasn't a turd, but at the same time, when you're fighting a bunch of demons and shit at the same time, it's so hard to really grow something.
Well, and your format was like you had to do a lot of work to make that format work. You were
Yeah.
current news in movies every week.
Every week.
And every week you made yourselves watch a movie. All we have to do on this is watch a movie. And then even like you come up with the mindful stuff. I never even have to do it. And then I just like pipe in and say something stupid at the end. And that was perfect for me. But yeah, like your other show was really fucking difficult to pull off.
It was a lot, man. It was,
Yeah.
you're right. We watched so much. And yeah, the news. I mean, I had a big notebook where I'd write down all the news for the week, and that shit was a lot. I'd have like 4 or 5 different websites that I'd go to, do my research from. But I feel like those movie guys gave me a foundation and then also gave me my queen equality, my wife, Kat, was a result of that podcast, almost a direct result of that podcast. And so those two things. But now looking at this podcast, I'm like, man, I think fuck, we could really do something with it. You know what I mean? But I just had to, yeah, now that I have your blessing, I'm ready
It's
to
weird
go.
that you wanted to do it on air.
Yes, I 100% wanted to because I
I
was
feel
like,
like you tried to put me on the spot.
not really put you on the spot, but in a way, I did want it to be authentic and so that people could hear it and be like, oh, okay, is this?
Now you can't back out, motherfucker.
I got the recording.
No, dude, for reals, like I like being involved in this show. For me, it's a creative outlet, but I'm in no way wanting to like run the show. I like that you fucking do the whole movie because I can fucking watch it and like not see it for 3 weeks and then like you tell me the whole story and I sit here and listen to you like I'm like, this is like the first time I've ever seen it.
And I actually took a page out of the Popcorn Promises playbook. And so again, this what's happening right now is also almost solely a result of Bruce just fucking killing it behind the scenes for us.
Yeah, for real, dude. Because that again is something like you were like, we got to build this thing, and I'm like, I'm behind building it, but I don't want to lift the bricks.
Right. Can I just watch from the side?
I just watch the wall go up.
But
Yeah.
he is really building, all the things behind the scenes, the social media stuff into some really just fucking cool shit. And him and I have been brainstorming like almost daily. We talk about this show. We're talking about, okay, let's do this, let's do that. And then what I was going to say, I pulled from Popcorn Promises is I've reached out to 2 other individuals. One who is an artist friend of mine, Juan, who I think he has podcast experience. He ran a show for a while, just kind of I don't know, any topic kind of show. But he has usually never seen the original of anything. He's seen maybe a sequel and maybe a remake of something.
Right.
And then Bruce reached out to someone who is part of his Wolfpack Gaming group, Chelsea, because I would really like to have a female voice on the show. I would like to have, some female representation. And, your thing was I want to do Popcorn Promise, and you had a stable of a couple people that would come on the show with you. And I think we should, do that. Now, not all the time. My hope is that, me and you are still primary everything, but maybe once every couple of months or something, we bring on someone. And whether it's just either you and them or me and them, I know you're going to be like, it's you and them. I don't want to be stuck with that. You don't got to put that kind of pressure on. But do that and then continuing to explore more interviews for the show. I really want to try and get some more talent on the show who have been, part of this shit that we're celebrating. These people who somehow, I would argue that Kane Hodder is almost a bigger celebrity than fucking Tom Cruise. And Tom Cruise, like right now, is yes, everything, but Kane Hodder has been like whole generations of families and kids who like raise their kids on this shit and are like, they see this dude and they're like, it's Jason Voorhees. So I'm hoping to explore a bunch more of that. Again, Bruce and I have got some cool things. So we'll bring on some, different voices here and there and just continue to try to spread this mission of the macabre, the mindful, because the more people that are starting to give us feedback and stuff on it seems like people dig it, man. And they like the shit.
I know you're not going to toot your own horn, but I'll toot it for you. Toot toot. We had David Howard Thornton fucking do a little fucking horror pop extravaganza message for us, and we got 10,000 views on that shit. That's the most I've ever had on anything. Even my dick pics don't get 10,000 views.
And it is, and that's the stuff where at the same time I am excited, but I'm not getting. I'm like, it's just got to stay the same. You know what I mean? The core has to be there. The format could change. We might go to fucking something completely different, but the message has to be the same about we can all be a little bit better people to each other, and we can all, and tying that in. And my hope is one day, I don't see it out of the realm of possibility to have David Howard Thornton on the show, dude, and talk to him about, it would be really hard for me to not want to just sit and talk to him about the Joker all day though. You know what I mean? There's many times that dude's been like, I fucking want to play the Joker real bad. And he's done it in some short, fan type stuff. But I do want to talk to these people. And I feel this community that we are reaching out to, these two things in my mind, they seem like they go together so well. All the people that
they don't though. We literally, our subject matter is about people not treating other people kind. And then we come in at the end and be like, all right, now let's talk about how we should be nice to each other and not stab each other with unicorn horns.
Where I was going, I believe, is that I think the audience who is drawn to horror movies sometimes struggles with some of the anxiety, depression, emotional things, to where you get that escapism in that pretend scary world. I think there's something there, but it's also, you are kind of right, I guess. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but hey, it's something I'd never seen anything like it before, so I was like, let's try and make it. And that's all you can really do in the world. If the book you want to read isn't written, you probably got to write it. So that way somebody else, yeah, that way somebody else can read that shit. And my book's almost done, dude. Creeping right up on 15,000 words. Got about another 5,000 or so I want to put in, and then I'm just waiting on my mom to get the foreword done, and then I'm gonna try and find a legit editor to run through it. And I sent it out to a handful of people, kind of test readers and stuff like that. And yeah, people, they dig it. And I don't know, dude. We'll see where that goes.
I got to read some of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, don't forget fucking. I sent it out to a bunch of people, but Duke Spooky's not one of them.
No, you're one of them. I'm gonna say Duke Spooky and some other people got to read it.
I want you to say it like that. I have very low self-esteem. I mean, I'm not confident as I look.
That's the thing, though. That's the thing, is you are the core piece of this that can't go anywhere too. You know what I mean? And I'm hoping we build it up, but it's built up in an honest way and in a way that truly is directed at helping others in one way or another, while at the same time celebrating shit like street trash and rubber and the greasy strangler.
That's what I like about it, dude. Just juxtaposition gets me all hot and horny.
Oh, for the Horror Pop Extravaganza. Oh yeah, like and subscribe, or subscribe and like. I don't know if there's a right way. I'm doing a little course right now, trying to figure out the algorithm. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck, how do you get seen in a sea full of fish to the right people again? I'll never be like, oh, we'll just get a bunch of kids to click on our shit. Like, I've been finding some dirty things on the internet about how to grow YouTube, and I'm like, that sounds not right. That sounds, so we're never going to be that. But I do think, treating anything like a business and trying to build it up, and or an organization, maybe not a business, but trying to build it up. So anyway, next week, Silent Hill, for the Horror Pop Extravaganza. I have been Pops Ghostly.
And I'm Little Dirk Spooky. Little Dirk Spooky.
No! No! No!
Horror Pop Extravaganza.